Hello and welcome back to Eco Socialist. So you can see I've just gotten out of the shower and my hair is still in a towel, but I wanted to share with you guys what I wanted to do today for a very late lunch. It's my take on a recipe from a book I've had for a while. Book's called Vegan on the Cheap. It's an American book, but I'm going to show you guys my version of the recipe, and it is basically all out of stuff that you can pull out of your cupboard, basically, or you might have sort of dried herbs and things. I like to keep a good stock because I like to have flavour options. But anyway, less me babbling, more me showing you how to do this. So I'm going to adjust the camera again. So this is basically a homemade, almost Heinz tomato soup. But obviously you guys know that I'm vegan, so my version doesn't sort of contain any dairy or animal derivatives. So I'll show you what I do with that. So what we need is 1.5 cups of chickpeas. Yeah, so this will make the soup a quite nice, sort of satisfying and filling soup. And to be honest, you probably wouldn't even notice that they were in there, so it gives it a good body. Right, and you'll also need a tin of tomatoes. Now you can use the cheapest of the cheap tomatoes. I'm using what I found after sort of you bulk buyers, sort of, you know who you are, ravaged the basics tomatoes that I usually buy. So these ones I managed to get from my local QDs, and yeah, as you can see, my tin opener was being iffy today, so it chewed the can up a bit, but doesn't matter, they're going to go in the jug. Right, what else is going to go in the jug? Right. 2 cloves of garlic. Now you could, if you don't have fresh garlic, you could use the puree if you've got that on hand, or you could even use a teaspoon of dried garlic granules or onion granules, or if you've got an onion, you could just shove half of an onion in there instead. It's very adaptable. But I've got garlic at the minute. When I run out, I'm going to go on to my dried granules. So I need 2 cloves, and I really need a knife. Hang on a second. So all of these peelings and things from sort of garlic and onions and things, I keep in a little silicone reusable bag in my freezer for making stock sort of once a week. And that stock I will use to cook either rice or quinoa with, with it, instead of using plain water. So it's just another way of sort of reducing your waste and saving money as well, which is never a bad thing. I'm done. I'm sure there's probably easier ways of peeling your garlic, but I am just winging it like most of the time I do with cooking. And I'm getting lots of garlic on my nails at the minute. talking about nails, I hope you guys are sort of keeping up with your hand washing. It's always a good idea to remember to wash your hands before you start cooking anything as well. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of a chop up, because once this is all in my jug, I'm going to use my stick blender to blend it all together. Just need it a little bit more manageable for my stick blender. Right, now it's going to get a little bit noisy again. So turn your volume down if you're a little bit worried about it. Right, that's about done. I'll probably give it another blend once we heat it up on the stove. So anyway, from this, I will find a pan if I can. Okay. Saucepan. And this I'm going to put here on my stove. And scoop this out. Handy dandy spatula into here. Now also I'm going to add some soy milk as well. If you don't have soy milk, you can use other sort of non-dairy milks, or you could even use milk or milk powder. Well, it'd actually really work with some dairy-free unsweetened yogurt, or if you've got any leftover yogurt in your fridge as well. But to this I am adding, because I didn't have any of either, because I literally only had cashew cream in my fridge at the minute, which I thinned out to put in my coffee, which was a bit interesting. So I blended earlier this morning. It's about 3 chunks of tofu in about a cup of water. So my tofu was smoked tofu, and I just had it in the freezer, so I let it defrost. Oh, also my chickpeas were dried ones, which I rehydrated overnight and cooked this morning while I was having breakfast. So that's gone into the pot as well. And I am also going to be adding about 1 teaspoon of cumin. Here's the Cayan. 1 teaspoon of Cayan. What next? Cumin, even. Now, it really is in the sort of flavourings that makes it taste a bit like a Heinz tomato soup. When sort of like seasonings. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of this, and I'm going to taste it later on, and I might add some more if I feel as though it needs some more. Now, the original recipe said to add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, but I don't have lemon juice, so I've grabbed my cider vinegar from the back of the cupboard. It's been there for a little while, to be honest. And I'm just going to add 1 teaspoon because it's a little bit, tablespoon even, because it's a little bit more acidic. And that's just to give it the sort of like the tang, if you know what I mean. You could probably use any other vinegar that you've got in your cupboard as well. Or you might even have lemon juice in your cupboard left over from pancake day that you haven't used yet. That'll work as well. Okay. I'm just going to give this a stir and heat it up. I'm going to put it on a medium heat and just bring it to a gentle simmer. Yummy. Now I've also cooked some no porky sausage rolls to have with my tomato soup as well. So that'd be nice. Another thing that you can make up to go with this, which would be very yummy, is some oat cakes, which are very simple to make. And I think everyone's got oats in their cupboards because they're very useful for many things at the minute. Okay, also, if you're using tinned chickpeas from the back of your cupboard, don't throw away the juice from the can. Strain it over a bowl and keep that, because if you've been having an issue and about getting eggs or anything like that, aquafaba, the stuff that's left over from the can, is a very good and useful egg replacer in lots of different recipes, even pancakes. I prefer banana and pancake recipes personally instead of egg, but a lot of people use the aquafaba, which is the bean juice that you can save off of the tinned chickpeas. So while that's going for a while, I'm just going to do a little bit of a tidy up. I'll give you a little bit of a view of my cupboards. Now, I think I've pretty much overtaken our store cupboards because I eat a lot of different dried things as a vegan. So, give you a little bit of a show of the cupboards. Dried beans, chopped tomatoes, different sauces, lots of different nuts and things so that I can get my healthy omegos in. Polenta. I've only just discovered sort of cooking with polenta, so I'm still experimenting. So you never know, I might share a polenta recipe with you. Down here. Maybe one day. But so at the minute I have been having issues twiddling my fingers. And I know that sort of some of you guys are probably finding it hard missing family members as well, like me. God, I just want to give my daughter a big hug right now. But I worry, like sort of many of you do, probably about grandchildren and friends and things, especially if you're still working, that you could pass something on to them without knowing. So, yeah, you really want to sort of like protect your loved ones. And it's a really back to front way of doing it, because I think we naturally want to sort of be there to comfort our relatives and sort of very close family members. So it's very odd when something like this comes along and you have to do what instinctively feels so wrong by telling people to stay away. So wrong. I'm going to turn the heat up a bit just to move things along. This smells really yummy. This is definitely a late lunch for me, so I got a bit sidetracked this morning. It's pretty much just scrolling through Facebook, but it's very easy to get sidetracked doing that when you're trying to see how sort of other people are getting on. And all the stuff that's sort of coming up through the news feed about sort of all the increasing sort of numbers and stuff. Ooh. Yeah. That's interesting, all over my white tiles. Maybe I should turn that up to max. Right, now I'm going to give this another zhuzh with the hand blender thing. Over onto my wooden chopping board. Turn it down to doing. which is more of a sort of whole food version of the Heinz tomato soup, just from chickpeas, tinned tomatoes, a little bit of seasoning, a little bit of vinegar, some soya or whatever milk or yogurt you've got on hand, and a very tasty filling soup. I'm going to put it in one of my favourite bowls. And put it with my sausage roll and very much enjoy this. Now, this bowl was actually given to me by my auntie when me and my partner moved into this place together. She actually made it herself. She's very talented. She was also selling soap dishes on Cheshire Market, I do believe. So I think she calls her pottery Facebook page Betty Pots, something like that. So if you want something making or anything like that, or you want one of her soap dishes, they really are beautiful. So this is finished soup. I'll just say goodbye, and I hope you enjoyed this soup recipe from just covered bits and pieces. It's one of my favourite go-to vegan soups, and yeah, like I said, you can use non-vegan ingredients as well if you wanted to, if that's what you've got. So I'm going to end this video here, and just remember that we all deserve to live in an equal world, we all deserve to be equally respected, and our planet respected with us in it. Bye, and look after yourself, stay indoors and stay safe. Mwah.